Okay, the performance of any deck stain or deck coating is going to be dependent on a few things. Number one is going to be exposure, how much shade and how much sunlight you have. Also construction and design of the deck, and in this particular case we're going to look at several aspects. Here we've got some higher up deck that's elevated. We're going to get some nice air movement under this deck. So these boards on the top are going to be able to keep them fairly dry, fairly easy to protect. Now when we get into the middle of the deck here, we're down a little closer to the ground. So as the sun beats down on the deck, it's going to draw some of this damp underlying moisture up into the undercoated back side of this deck. And so what that does is it expands and contracts the board several times a day in some cases as it goes through these cycles or anytime it rains. So that starts stressing the wood. As the wood dries out, it wants to start curling and cupping. So really, when you see splitting toward the end of the boards or you see cupping of the boards, generally that's going to be resulting from water either coming from the bottom and up through the boards or water getting into the end grain when a saw cut was made when the deck was built. If we don't have these saw cuts coated, it's going to be a legacy of moisture going into that board and out of the board, leading to cracking and splitting, really right at the end where you've got nails and fasteners. So we'll get into some of the application procedures, and one of those things is going to be to pre-coat your wood on the back side and pre-coat the end grain while the deck's being built. This will prevent a lot of problems, especially when we look at the wood that's in a couple other areas on the deck where it's just there's no way you can coat it once the deck is designed and constructed. On a deck that is close to the ground like this, you can still choose a film forming coating or a furniture finish look, but those kind of finishes are really problematic. If you don't maintain them and coat them right when they start to dry out, you can have peeling. And we're going to take a look at a deck right down the road that's got some really bad peeling on it. Let's look at an area over here on the other side where the deck is actually on the ground and talk about some of the problems that this is going to cause. If we could have been here when the deck was built, we could have backside coated some of this wood, but obviously without ripping out this wood, we're going to have to just deal with what we have here. You can see some wood here that is actually, we've got mud and dirt here. Water's just wicking into the end grain here in these saw cuts. We've got wood laying on the ground here. So even a regular oil-based stain is going to really be problematic because we've got so much moisture, we're close to the ground, we're getting mildew. So this type of deck, these problem decks, or a deck that's fully elevated, in any circumstance, one-time wood protector is going to perform the best for a couple reasons. Number one is it's not an oil that's going to dry out and leave us unprotected. It's not going to build up a finish like an acrylic, which would be, again, in this kind of an area, we would probably have peeling already on an acrylic. The one-time cures into the wood and hardens, and it cannot peel. There's no film there, so in areas like this, we can get some good solid wood protection without the danger of peeling, without the danger of getting darkening from the mildew. So the other thing that we like about the one-time is just the ease of maintenance and how easy it is to just clean and recoat when it comes time to do this. And this is going to be compared to the other products that sometimes have some more harsh chemistry that needs to be used or strippers, which we want to avoid. So let's take a look at these in detail.